guys, I'm Shail, your MCVP External Relations, and we're talking about how to sell. This video is going to be about the on-ground sales aspect of selling. The previous one, in the previous one, we talked about market research, and this is going to be a follow-up to that, and we are covering 4 main steps of how sales is done when you're on the field. The steps are evaluation, negotiation, commitment, and closing. But before we jump into those 4 steps, since this aspect of sales is more about being out there and selling, we are going to address the simple question of what sales is. So the sales is art of exchanging your product or service for the right value of money or compensation. And there are 3 main things that determine if a sales will happen or not. 1, knowing if your customer will want your product or not. 2nd, how well you know your product. And the 3rd is if the relationship that you're building from that sales is going to be long lasting and will add value to both the parties in the long run. Sale is a very integral part of everyone's daily life. Whenever you meet a stakeholder that you need to convince, be it your mom, dad, or anyone that you come across in a daily life, you need to sell. But then as AIESEC, we have a specific set of products to sell, and that's why we need certain expertise while selling these products. So we'll talk about what an ideal sale is now, considering that we are into professional selling. So there are certain factors that determine an ideal sale. One is if you know if your market research is done. So if you know what is there in your market and what customers in your market want. Second is if you have done your product research. If you know what kind of product is needed by the market, and once you're done making your product, how people are going to react to your product. Next is if you know whether the customer has a demand for your product. So do you know if the companies in the market actually need something that you're offering. The next is if you have the right kind of selling skills, if you're spontaneous enough, if you if you're observant enough, if you listen, if you're a good listener, these kind of things. And if you have the right attitude, I mean, by right attitude, I mean if you know your product well enough to be confident while selling it. Next is if you're able to negotiate with your client. How well versed are you with your product, and how well versed are you with what the client needs? So you can give them case studies and examples that make sure that you are getting the right value of what you come there for. If you're keeping your the next is if you're keeping your sales pitch short and precise, and the time taken to do your sales being accurate and to the point, basically. The next is if you maintain just like how you're passionate about selling your product, if you're also passionate about delivering and following up for your product. And the last part is if you're actually evaluating if the client is happy with the service that you have provided or not. So now, considering we have talked about sales and what a normal sale and what an ideal sale looks like, let's talk about when we do ideal sales in AIESEC. What are the main problems that we face? So there are 4 main problems, but we are talking about we are addressing one key problem over here, which is proper sales process not being followed. So this is one problem that we have seen across different products and different chapters and different demographics in AIESEC, that we do not follow proper sales process because our product is so unique and we sell it differently in different regions. And the very standard sales process for AIESEC will be explained now through these 4 blocks, which is evaluation, negotiation, commitment, and closing. And this is also in link to the previous video where we stopped at propose. So propose is where, after evaluating what your company and your what your company needs and what you have to offer, you pitch to the company. Now the evaluation stage means once you have proposed something to the company, whether if you're evaluating whether what you have pitched is actually making sense to your company, and in addition to that, talking to the company and identifying what more can you offer to the company. Because until now you've only done market research and background research of what the company might want, but this is the stage where you are talking to the company and identifying what that company might probably need. You identify the gap that you can fill in the evaluating stage by talking to the company here. Evaluation stage also means what are the potential problems that might arise in future in the partnership and clarifying them right now. Next. So something to keep in mind about the negotiate stage is that this stage will only be reached if the customer finds value in what you are offering them. This is the stage where in the proposed state and evaluation state, whatever you have given to the client will be assessed and broken down to the minutest details. After this, the client will come up with problems and you will come up with problems, and you will get together and solve each other's problems, and then come up to the most optimum solution for these problems. Over here, what you need to do is you need to present them case studies and examples of what has happened in the past with your product, or how you've sold your product in the past and how it has given value in the past, in a way that this client realizes that yes, this product has sold well in the past, so I think this will provide me also the value that I want from this product. This phase also includes the process of co-creating your products with your customer. That is, once you have given them what you think is the right product for them, this is a stage where they tell you that no, this is what we need, and then you collaborate and then come up with products that are in mutual benefit for both the parties. Moving on, the next stage is commitment. The commitment stage is pretty simple. This is where your contract gets signed, the official documents are made, all the deliverables are evaluated, and then both the parties commit to each other saying that this is what we will offer to you, and this is what we will take against what we are offering to offering. This is the stage where the give and take of money is also finalized, and you decide a point of contact for the company and define the people who are going to take it forward. Also, this is the stage where how the delivery will happen and when the delivery will happen is chalked out, and you define a clear plan of action for how this delivery and follow-up will be done, and how the satisfaction of that particular customer will be evaluated. And the last and the most important step now, closed. So this stage usually for companies when they partner is when they receive the money or a return of what they have promised from their partner. But in AIESEC, it's more about when you actually deliver what you had promised in the commitment stage, and do follow-ups with the process of follow-ups with the partner in a way that they are satisfied. Once you have defined this process in the commitment, this is the stage where you execute this process and ensure that proper CRM is implemented. Yes, and that's it with the four most important steps for on-ground sales. So as I mentioned previously in the video, that these 4 steps mainly cater to the problem of AIESEC India not following a standard sales process, and there are 3 other problems that we are going to talk about in the next video. So stay tuned, and remember the 8 steps of sales that will take you to heaven. They are very simple, not something very difficult to understand, and just follow the sales process and the 3 problems that we're talking about in the next video, and you're going to be the best seller ever. Thank you.